Good day, everyone. For Telesur, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas, Venezuela. We're going to begin in France. That's where the government has announced new security measures following last week's deadly attacks against the magazine Charlie Hebdo. The French government will mobilize 10,000 army troops within the country by Tuesday. The measure was announced Monday after the country saw the biggest demonstration since World War II in rejection of the terrorist attacks. Now, according to Defense Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian, the number of domestic troops nearly equals the number of soldiers deployed overseas. The Interior Minister announced that 4,700 police officers will be deployed to guard Jewish schools throughout the country after a kosher supermarket was sieged by gunmen last Friday. And in Latin America, we go to Colombia, where the peace process between the government and FARC rebels is still underway. The FARC rebels proposed a constituent assembly on Sunday. That's instead of a national referendum as advocated by the government. The guerrillas' proposal comes a week after President Juan Manuel Santos signed a law calling for a nationwide vote to decide whether or not the Colombian people agree with the outcome of the peace negotiations being held in Havana, Cuba. The government has rejected the idea of calling for a constituent assembly, but the FARC leadership plans on raising the topic when peace talks resume next week. And we go to neighboring Ecuador, where the 23rd meeting of the Asia-Pacific Parliamentary Group is taking place. Delegations from 17 different countries will participate in the event, which started on Monday. The regional lawmakers will review 41 different proposed resolutions aimed at strengthening regional dialogue on common issues. The proposals touch on the themes of international security policy, cyber espionage, regional peace, and poverty and inequality reduction. The week-long event will also discuss cooperative projects being devised between the region's countries. And as the Asia-Pacific Group meeting takes place in Ecuador, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro continues his tour of OPEC member countries. The Venezuelan leader arrived to Qatar Sunday after visiting Saudi Arabia, where he was able to reach an agreement on how to stabilize the global oil market. In Qatar, Maduro was welcomed by Energy Minister Mohammed bin Abdulaziz. The socialist president is seeking to garner support from oil-producing countries to improve global prices, which have fallen dramatically since October last year. During his visit, Maduro also discussed other collaborative projects, including agriculture.
We have discussed a special project that Comandante Chavez had proposed to the Emir years back regarding agriculture. They have a special fund to invest in food production, and we have discussed the details which we need to solidify. You know that these regions are arid and they're very interested in food production. I have told them that we will produce the food that Qatar and the Arab world need.
And we go to Mexico now, where our correspondent Clayton Kahn has an update on the 43 disappeared students from Ayotzinapa.
Of Iguala Guerrero, the same town where the Ayotzinapa students were attacked and disappeared last September by police, have suspended searching for the missing loved ones due to what they say are threats from organized crime groups. Now, these families have been leading independent searches for their missing in recent weeks, finding dozens of clandestine graves in the process. The social movement growing around the tragedy of the Ayotzinapa students has galvanized many families of other victims to demand justice. While the authorities have provided security, the families now say they've abandoned them. Many say crime, insecurity, and corruption continue in many parts in the wake of the Ayotzinapa tragedy. And on Friday, Mexico's President Enrique Peña Nieto held a special meeting to advise Mexico's ambassadors to, quote, clean up the international image of the country, tarnished by the violence. This is Clayton Kahn reporting for Telesur here in Mexico City.
And thanks to Clayton, we now turn to the Caribbean, where health authorities in St. Lucia are gearing up for a new multi-million-dollar national hospital, which they hope will transform health care on the island. With more, here's Allison Kentish.
A $189 million national hospital is one of the major health projects underway in St. Lucia. It is expected to be completed in 2015. The island's health minister is hoping to also strengthen healthcare at the community level. She says the goal in 2015 is to ensure access to public health care for all citizens and move all community health centers which are prone to flooding.
Health has to be accessible, and when you move it out on a hill somewhere and the elderly persons who cannot afford to pay bus, we have a problem. So we had to find a way to suit especially the most vulnerable in our communities. So we have built a number of new facilities in the community.
For residents of St. Lucia who access the public health facilities, the relief cannot come fast enough. Phil DeBoville says there is room for improvement where local healthcare is concerned. He's also hoping that the new national hospital will bring about change in the health system.
Well, it could be improved. It should help. It should help. I don't see why not. Because there are a lot of things, there are a lot of shortcomings up here.
Healthcare on the island, in particular the cost of healthcare, has grabbed many headlines over the past 2 years. Government says there are challenges in pushing the sector forward, but says significant investment has been made to ensure there is a solid foundation from which to modernize and improve the sector. St. Lucians have expressed some concern about the quality of healthcare available locally, but they say they are optimistic that things will improve significantly in 2015. From Castries, St. Lucia, Alison Kentish for Telesur English.
And thanks to Allison. Turning to world news now, we go to Gaza, where residents there are feeling the effects of Egypt's decision to close the Rafah border. For more, here's our correspondent Noor Harazin.
Today, the residents of Gaza received such a bad news after Egypt decided to close the Rafah border. 2 days ago, the Egyptian government said that they will be opening Rafah border for 3 days this week. However, after an Egyptian officer was kidnapped in Sinai, the Egyptian government cancelled the reopening of Rafah border, leaving hundreds and thousands of Palestinians in the Gaza Strip stuck. And we're talking about people who need to leave the Gaza Strip for quick surgeries or students who are studying abroad. Meanwhile, the internal problems is taking over the Gaza Strip. Hamas officials and Fatah officials continue their meetings in a way to find a solution for the current crisis in the Gaza Strip, including the electricity crisis and salaries.
And in related news, Palestinians took to the streets on Sunday to reject the violent attacks which took place in Paris last week. With chants and slogans of people in support of the French people, Palestinians marched with the flags of both countries. The demonstrators also rejected the attempts of the Israeli government to equate the Palestinian resistance to Islamic extremism. And to Egypt now, where people also marched against the Paris terrorist attacks. Dozens of journalists gathered in the streets of Cairo in solidarity with the victims of the Paris mass shooting. The Egyptian government is under heavy criticism due to its own treatment of the press, having jailed more than 200 journalists last year. Meanwhile, in Egypt, a court handed down a 3-year jail sentence Sunday to a student after he declared himself an atheist on his personal Facebook account. Now, despite that situation at home, government officials joined the Unity rally in Paris together with 40 other world leaders. And a new audit released Monday by a U.S. agency has warned that further U.S. funding of the Afghan police could promote administrative abuses. The report shows that the police staff has been artificially overstaffed, that payments were made to more employees than authorized, and that some staff members were being overpaid. The report also shows corrupt practices within the payment system, as well as the lack of proper international oversight of the police force. In Indonesia, the government announced Monday that one of the black box recorders from the crashed AirAsia flight has been found. The equipment is believed to be undamaged and will be sent to Indonesia for experts to analyze its contents. A second group of divers is still searching for a second black box, which is believed to have recorded communication within the airplane's cabin. The Indonesian Meteorological Agency believes that the airplane crashed due to the stormy weather. And we today with sporting news. All eyes are on the FIFA Ballon d'Or award. The Argentinian striker Lionel Messi and his Portuguese counterpart Cristiano Ronaldo are again nominated for the FIFA prize. The recognition is awarded to the most outstanding player of the year. While Messi has won the trophy 4 times, Cristiano Ronaldo would be running for his 3rd victory. Manuel Neuer, the German goalkeeper who won the Golden Glove Award in the World Cup in Brazil last year, is also nominated for the prize. But according to most analysts, he stands a small chance of winning. Plenty more on those stories and others at our website, telesurtv.net/English. For Telesur English, I'm Cody Weddle. Have a great Monday.